So what do you do with that one friend who we can never seem to find a good time in their schedule? Ask them to plan the trip. Hello, dreamers, believers, and bucket list retreaters. Welcome back to the Bucket List Retreat podcast. I'm your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley, and once again, I am so thrilled to have you here. We are back from fall break. We took a break last week, and I had the grandkids. How fun is that? It's always my favorite time of year, fall break and spring break. That's usually when I get them right before we took off to pick up the grandkids. I cut my hair into a bob. Let me know what you think. Really, I love bobs over any style I've ever done. Oftentimes, I just let it grow and grow, and next thing I know, I'm like, I can't take this hair another minute, and back into a bob it goes. This one's a little bit longer than I really want. I'd like it to be a little bit shorter so that it can grow for a while and not need to be dealt with again. Oh, hair, doesn't it drive us all crazy? Let me know if you have a new hairstyle recently. I always just go back to the bob. It's just the easiest for me and my straight hair, which sometimes is curly, and I can play with that. Like if you're on a trip or retreat, you don't have a blow dryer or something, or you just don't want to mess with it. I can usually make enough curl that I can do something with the hair. So yeah, we had the grandkids, a lot of painting ensued, a lot of cooking, and we went to the pumpkin patch. And here in our town, we have the best pumpkin patch. There is no fee to get in, which I think is fantastic. We ended up spending $69 in pumpkins alone, but their pumpkin patch is so perfect. It just row after row, patch after patch, and all the pumpkins are different. So as you go along, they change and change. And they give you a big wheelbarrow to pull along. Not a wheelbarrow, but like um, what are those? Oh my gosh, I've lost my mind. Let me think about it. Take a drink. Wagon. Okay, these are really nice wagons though, with really big wheels and really easy to pull or push, and the grands love pulling or pushing it and picking it out, and off into the pumpkin patch we go. But it's just so much fun. Even they really enjoy it. They're 12 and 6 years old, and they still both really enjoy it. They do have a corn maze, which I couldn't talk the youngest into going into. She said maybe next year. And also a scary haunted house or something, and we didn't do that either. But it was so nice, and we were super lucky because Arizona, believe it or not, had the remnants of a Hurricane Priscilla, I think, that came in from the Pacific, and we knew it was coming. So we got the kids right before the hurricane hit, and we have to do the grandparent shuffle. Do you guys do that? Just let me know. Put a like on the podcast if you do the grandparent shuffle like we do. So we meet 2 hours in between, and we have two different ways we can go. One is the prettier route through the mountains, but it's super windy, up and down canyons, but it's beautiful, and pine trees. But it's usually a very busy route, especially on the holidays like fall break or spring break or Christmas, anytime like that. Or the other way is on the interstate, and it is a little bit longer, but of course it's much faster, and you're just dealing with the semi trucks that, kind of get in your way a lot. And most of the time there's no weather out there. It's real flat. It's high desert, high prairie. And it's really interesting to go that route as well. Not maybe as pretty as going through the pine forest, but you can see canyons. And we go to Flagstaff is where we're going, Arizona, and out of nowhere, this huge mountain, it's almost as high as the highest mountain in the continental United States, Mount Whitney, but this is the San Francisco Peaks in Arizona where Flagstaff is, and it's so beautiful. So we love meeting there. There's a million places to meet and have lunch. There's really nice places on the other route too. So we never have a problem having lunch. And it's such a treat. We've had such great times at our meetups, just meeting up with my daughter and her husband and grabbing the kids or dropping them back off. It's really been a fun part of being a grandparent. Tell me in the comments if you do the grandkids shuffle. Do you take your kids to your parents or vice versa? Or do you guys meet in the middle? And then this morning, when I got up with the goal of getting the podcast recorded, my blood pressure was off the charts. And I was like, what is going on? I've been doing all of these things to reel it in and get it back where it is supposed to be. I've been taking beet supplements. I've been doing the Qigong. I've cut my caffeine intake dramatically and things seem to be going in the right direction, but it was just so high. And then to top it off, my email, which I thought was fixed for bucket list retreats, wasn't fixed. And just as I hopped online to contact tech support, I did another check and it came back on, and lo and behold, it was working on both my computer and my phone, which hasn't been working correctly forever, really. Since the dawn, since I got the email here with GoDaddy. I used to have it with another provider, but anyhow, got that fixed and actually was making some changes in my signature in the email. And I went to our website to cut and paste its URL. And lo and behold, did I already say lo and behold? I think I did, but do you know that my website was down? Or technically it wasn't down, but I have been working on our shop on the website. And I work with Printify and Shopify friends. I have learned so much in the last year. You have no idea. So I will probably talk about that a lot and you'll get an idea. But what I had done is I had tried to link my Printify with my website and actually took over my website completely. So on there, if you happen to pull it up this morning, you would have seen my Printify shop, which is not set up properly and doesn't reflect at all the beautiful shop that we have through Shopify on the website at Bucket List Retreats. Anyhow, I had to contact my website provider, get the proper DNS that is supposed to be on there, contact GoDaddy, get them to enter it for me. I thought I could probably do it myself, but at this point just didn't want another thing wrong. Oh my goodness. Then they did it for me, and they said, both people said that it could take up to 24 to 48 hours. Well, it worked immediately, but I had already resigned myself to it taking 24 to 48 hours. So then I just threw my hands up in the air and said, I'm going to take the pharmaceutical for my blood pressure that the doctor gave me and bring my blood pressure down. I can't have it this high, and I really just need to get it in check, even though I'm doing all of these other things, holistic things to bring down my blood pressure. And you might have heard me talk about it in the previous podcast with Frances Starr Graham, because she's my Qigong instructor and has been helping me try to do this naturally as well. But both my mother and my grandmother suffered with high blood pressure, and I always knew that it might happen to me. And I've worked kind of hard to see that it didn't, but here it is. Okay. 62 years old. I'm going to go on pharmaceuticals for blood pressure while I continue to do healthy things to try and bring it down naturally. I don't know if it's going to help because I'm going to be on the pharmaceuticals. So it's just, wow, what a day it was. Just everything coming together. But in the end, I've got the blood pressure under control. I have the email back up and working. Yay. And I got the website. The website came back immediately. Thank you, GoDaddy. And thank you, Show It, which is where I host who hosts our website. You guys have really been fantastic. Their customer service is fantastic. And I really appreciate you working with a novice like me to help me make a beautiful website. It's just fantastic. I'll put a link to Show It down below if it's something you're interested in getting a new website platform. Give me a like down there, folks, if you ever deal with blood pressure or any other health-related issues that really throw you for a loop. I would love to know I'm not the only one, but mostly it would make me feel a lot better. And like I said, last month's podcast was such a good time. I really appreciate everyone who listened here on Spotify or watched us over on YouTube. The podcast that got the most clicks was the one with Nicole Johnson, my right-hand person around here. She was a co-host on episode 1002, and we talked about meeting in Bali. Her and I went on a retreat to Bali, and the leaders of that retreat put us together in a room. We both booked doubles and didn't know each other when we arrived. And it turned out that we became the best travel buddies ever. And it really happened within 3 hours of meeting. Had to take a transport to the retreat center once we arrived in Bali. It was a 3-hour drive. And oh my gosh, we talked like just best friends from the moment we met. And it was just fantastic. And one note, I don't think we talked about this in the episode. When we got there, the hotel, the retreat center, it was kind of a slash retreat center hotel. It was beautiful, right on the beach. And they had an extra room. So we went in separate rooms. They were right next to each other. And it was so funny because I had gone, we both had gone on these huge flights over to Asia and met at the airport, got in a van, talked for 3 hours, and then were separated in our separate rooms. And I was just like, wow, I feel really kind of lonely. So it was funny that even though I thought I wanted to book a single, you always think you want to book a single. I mean, everybody thinks they want a single. And I know even when I talked to Sherry Rosenthal in one of our last podcasts, she talked about she wants a single. She's at the age, that's what she wants, and that's what she's going to get. And I get that. If you absolutely have to have a single, by all means, get a single. But I'm telling you, take the option to get a double. If a single isn't an option for you, you never know how that could turn out. It turned out great for Nicole and I. And that was the episode that got the most outbound clicks on Pinterest. So I know you all are really interested in it. And then on episode 105, actual launch of the podcast, where we launched our new website, which has a brand new glow up that we are celebrating. We're probably going to be celebrating for quite a while because there's so much on there. And like I was talking about, I have had to learn so much as far as Shopify and Spotify. Can you imagine not getting those two things mixed up? You saw that we have our Etsy store. So learning all about Etsy and print on demand. I've done some beautiful shirts for some amazing retreats. If you have a group that's going on some type of a trip, let us know. We have just made some amazing group shirts. And what else? The blog. So the blog was a big deal for me. It's taken me all of these years to understand blogging, and it is thanks to Show It that I do understand it now. And I finally have a real blog on the website. I'm really proud of it. We are going to continue to add value-driven blogs that will help you on your journey to either organize a retreat or to go on one. You know, unless I always say, like, if you are teaching something or telling about something and you don't do that something, how do you know? So I love to go on retreats as well as host retreats and help others organize retreats. So let us know if you ever need our services. I have a beautiful group of really smart people working with bucket list retreats, and we can really put together something special for you. And we've organized it in a way that there's very small upfront cost for that, and we can work it out really however you want. So give us an opportunity. If it's something you want to talk about, schedule a call with me and let me tell you what we can do for you. And another thing that I got for you was that huge gift from Sherry Rosenthal of $1,000 off the Retreat Blueprint program. That is the retreat program that I took way back in 2015. And like we talked about, my opinion of that course really is that it is a college level course. You could take it over a semester or a whole year to get all of the information that you are going to get out of this course. And if you are considering organizing and running retreats, I implore you to get trained, if not to protect the people that you are taking on the retreat, to protect yourself, because it's a business. There's a lot that goes into it, and you need to know all about it. So I will include that link to the $1,000 off in the description. So hop on there and check it out. Just click on it and look at it. You certainly don't have to buy it, but it's such a good bargain. I really don't know if she's given that link to anybody else. So do it. Then our episode with Frances Starr Graham, who I mentioned a moment ago, she co-hosted with me and was such a good sport. That day we had so many connection issues you wouldn't believe, but we both powered through it. And I think came up with a really great podcast. She shared that falling leaf meditation at the end of the podcast. What a great gift that was. You can do that meditation over and over and maybe journal afterwards and see what type of a download you get from that meditation. I thank her so much. And that was the episode that got the most downloads on Spotify. Good job, Frances. Thank you, Frances, again. Today, she called me about an amazing retreat that we are looking at taking, the two of us, down in Dominican Republic. I have never been to the Dominican. I think it sounds fantastic. And it just goes to show, when you are in flow with what your hopes and desires are, opportunities come your way. So we will be talking more about that as I learn more about it. I'm so excited. I've been looking at the map all day, looking at routes, ways to fly in, places to stay, places to go. I love doing the research. That is the funnest part of organizing a trip. Really, it's 50% of the trip for me. It really is. That's just how I feel. Okay, friends, before we plan this girls' trip, let's get into retreat news and reviews. Okay, I was running across Instagram and I ran across this collaboration by True Wagner and Death to Stock Photos. It is so cute. There is a sign on a telephone pole, and it has a picture of three men with a drawing of another man in the picture, and it looks like they're camping. And the caption or the title says, "Looking for a fourth guy for a guy's trip." And I just thought it was so amazing. And so funny that these guys made this. It says, "We are three normal young guys. Nothing strange with us. We like fun and beer and becoming closer. Qualities we want in the fourth man: no malice in their soul, a large heart, a positive spirit. If you have any malice or hate in you, we will sense that out and not only ban you from the trip, but alert your friends and employer about what we perceive within you. Text us." And then it gives a phone number. It was just so cute and so funny. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to see it and follow them. They are so funny. Okay, and then the next thing, okay, I have finally found it. It isn't really a retreat, but an opportunity. It could be with friends, family, or a group of friends. Or, of course, it could be for a retreat. It says, "Are you looking for a special place to spend Christmas? Then look no further. Your Christmas wrapped in luxury at Little Messingham Manor, Norfolk, England." Imagine waking up on Christmas morning to the crackle of the fire, the scent of pine, and views of the frosty countryside beyond your window. This year, make your Christmas truly unforgettable with an exclusive stay at the Little Massingham Manor, where timeless charm meets the magic of the season. Choose any 4 days from Monday, December 22nd to Friday, the 2nd of January, and the manor is yours to enjoy. With 7 beautifully appointed bedrooms sleeping up to 14 guests, a cozy, snug, elegant dining room, and a fully equipped kitchen. Perfect for your festive feast. Step outside to the woodland spa where you can unwind under the stars. We'll leave the lighting to you to make it your very own special moment whenever the mood takes you. So you email them to get the pricing for your 4 nights for 14 people. It says whether you're gathering family or celebrating with friends, this is your chance to create memories you'll treasure for years to come. I will put a link below to the website. It isn't just this manor that they offer. So if you are looking for a really cool place to stay in Europe, check this out. I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And wow, if you got to go there for Christmas with your family or a really great group of friends, just think how amazing that would be. That just ties in exactly to what we are talking about today, the girlfriend's trip from hell. Hey, how did you like that as a great clickbait title? Sorry about that, friends, but that is exactly what we are avoiding here on this podcast today. We do not want to have a girlfriend's trip from hell. I almost couldn't think of anything worse when it comes to travel. But in any group that you want to organize, I thought I would give you all of the tips that I could think of so that you can start planning your own girls' trip, couples' trip, whatever type of group trip, just so that you are covered on all of the basics. So let's get started. Now, the first thing you're going to want to know when you are organizing a group trip is who can go. Who can go on the spur of the moment, who needs to plan it, and really who can't go. So who are those people that really can't go? A lot of time teachers have a hard time getting time off. So if you have a friend who is a teacher like I do, and if she listens to this, knows who she is because she wants to be a teacher for 50 years, just like her mom. So it's going to be a few more years before she can go on a spur of the moment trip. So what do you do with that one friend who we can never seem to find a good time in their schedule? Ask them to plan the trip. If everyone else seems to be a bit more flexible, ask them, that person that has the most trouble, to plan the trip. And that will help you get that person on the trips because sometimes it's just no fun without them, right? Next, start a group text or a group email or even a group on Facebook of those people that really act like they are interested in traveling. Let them know that you are really serious about this and that you are up to do 99% of the organizing. You just want to know who's in and get get organized. That way you can send them a quick email or a quick text. I love all of it. Text. I would do all three. Let them know that from here on out, you're going to be keeping track of opportunities and putting them out there. So get ready, everyone. So that is how you actually get a group together. And if you have literally nobody who wants to go on a trip, then start looking for those people. Join all of the travel groups, solo travel groups, just every travel group that you can think of. If there's a country you want to go to, join their group so that you can start meeting people. I know meeting people online, but if you watch them long enough, you start to get to know them, see how long they've been on Facebook, start talking to people, start actually having a conversation. For example, I'm afraid I'm going to tell too many stories here, so I'll be as succinct as I can. But for example, this morning I was working on a group shirt for a gal from Etsy, and the last thing she said is, "Now book your ticket because so that we can meet and travel." So obviously we both hit it off right away, and that's what I mean. It's really getting out there, talking to people, maybe going on other retreats or group travel opportunities so that you can start to meet your people. The next part is the planning, where to go. Now, usually that is so easy. There's so many places to go, and it's really whatever comes up in your conversations with your group. We read a book that took place in Savannah, so we all wanted to go to Savannah. I will talk about that more, probably a lot. One of the best trips we ever organized. But the first trip that we did, my bunco group. So, and once again, let me just back up a minute. If you don't know anyone to go travel with you, start a bunco group or start a book club or do both. So our bunco group was in our neighborhood. We started a bunco group. I think we started in like 1998 or 2000. No, we started our book club in 2000. That was after our bunco group. But in the bunco group, that is where we all started talking about traveling together. Half of the group, there was 14 of us, half of us were all born in 1962 or 1963. So we were the exact same age. And you can think about how long we have all been friends because we are still friends. But the first trip that we went on, we rented a house down an Airbnb, this huge, beautiful house on the coast in Puerto Penasco, Mexico. And that's about a 4-hour drive from Phoenix. It did take a lot of planning because back then we were all still moms. We all still had kids at home. But wouldn't you know that it was almost easier then than it is now that we are all older. Our children are all raised. Most of us have grandchildren. But we still, to get together, of course, a few of us have moved away from that town, but still we have so much trouble getting together anymore. So who knew that way back when we were all, a lot of us working mothers, getting away was hard, but we put our minds to it. And for our 40th birthday, we went on the very first group trip that we went on down to Mexico. It is a trip that none of us will ever forget. We had the absolute best time, and it was worth every moment of planning and preparing that we did. I thought I'd share some of the things that we did plan before we get into the planning of the actual, car, the transportation, the venue, the food, that type of thing. But some of the things that we did. So there was like 12 or 14 of us. I know a couple of people couldn't go, but I think there were 14 of us. And what we did was we were staying Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. And so those nights we split everybody up into groups. So group A had the first night and we did martinis all week. So the first group had a certain type of martini the first night. The second group had a second type of martini the second night and so forth. You get what I'm trying to say. It was so much fun. And then the rest of the time, we didn't have too much planned out because this place included a maid and a cook. She came in every morning and cleaned and then made us a lunch and then made a dinner that she put in the refrigerator. And we just took it out when it was time for dinner and made the dinner. It was absolutely fantastic. We had the best time at this beautiful home right on the beach. Most of us, if we had to share a room, we were sharing big king beds. Most of us had our own bed. It was just so beautiful and really put us in the desire to continue to do travel with a group. We had so much fun. And of course, the nice thing about traveling in a group is you get to put your money together and buy usually such a nice place. This was a luxury villa right on the beach. And we did end up going to Savannah. Our book club did, where we rented a mansion and it held 10 people. It was fantastic because the book was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And if you've ever read the book or seen the movie, it is based in those mansions right in downtown Savannah. So we felt like we were totally in the book. It was just fantastic. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. It is who is going to put the Airbnb or the hotel on their credit card. Now, if you do book a hotel, a lot of times that's easier. You get 2 to 4 people in a room. Those people book their own room and split up the money there on their own. But if you're booking an Airbnb, there's a lot of things that go into that. Number one, you're agreeing to the Airbnb rules. And you have to absolutely be certain that the people that you are bringing on this trip are not going to cause any problems. They're absolutely going to follow the rules too. Now, I always loved planning, so I did a lot of the planning myself. And the group that I always took, I completely trusted that they wouldn't do anything and not follow the rules. So I really enjoyed booking it, getting the miles on my credit card. And also, one of the rules that we had in our group is whoever put it on their credit card also got the master suite. And usually had to share with one other person, but that was a perk and a pro that I always loved to do. And one of the tips that I like to do is to really get the ball rolling is to send the group a place that you have found and for the dates that they have all indicated that they're interested in going and say, hey, everyone, what do you think about this place? And what often happens is people jump on Airbnb and they start looking themselves. Everyone is sending everyone suggestions and you're getting a really good idea of what they like and what they don't like. And it helps everyone be a part of the picking process, even though you're the one that's actually going to put it on your credit card. Take the risk and be in the master suite. In the end, though, do send that final email to everyone and say, give me your approval on booking this room, booking this Airbnb, and I am going to book it tonight and share the reservations with all of you. That way, no one feels like they didn't get a part in booking this accommodation. One time I did go on a group trip there was a few people in the planning party, but they didn't share any of the information. They just asked for, the $1,000 that they needed from me. That was my share. And I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know what was out. I just didn't like it at all. Personally, I think if you're going with a group, you're organizing a group, you are obligated to share that information with the group, or whoever is organizing it is obligated to share that information with you. It's also a really great idea to look into transportation, decide who is going to rent a car if necessary, if that person is willing to do all of the driving, or if you need to add another driver onto the plan. I knew a group of girls that went to Italy, and one girl was brave enough to do all of the driving, and she took that on, driving on the other side of the road from the United States with all of her friends in the back. But she took on that responsibility, and everyone trusted her. And actually, it really worked out great. Another thing I would just like to mention to everyone is if you are in a group, a van of people trying to get from point A to point B, let the driver and ask another person to be the navigator to sit in the passenger seat and do the navigating. Everyone yelling at the same time really is so hard. And try not to do that to your driver. Another thing that always happens on your trip is people buying in groups. Hey, I'll catch that round of drinks. Hey, I'll buy this tour. We'll split it up later. And the splitting it up later always turns into a bit of a problem. I'm sure you have all been there. And one thing that I drew up years ago was a spreadsheet to help us out on that. And I have refined it so beautifully with the help of ChatGPT. I know I preach not to use ChatGPT word for word, but when you're working on something like this, it comes out so excellent. So even if you don't want the freebie that I'm offering today, which is what is that? What am we calling it? A girls' math trip settlement tracker, a girls' math trip settlement tracker. Even if you don't want mine, use ChatGPT to help you figure it out. And it works so nicely. Just enter the names of the people and what they spent, where they spent, and who was splitting it up. And he could help you figure that out. Or I would be happy to share the Google Doc that the two of us came up with together with you for free in the description below. Our little freebie for listening today in the description below. Let me know what you think of it, okay? Because I love drawing up these forms and I love adding things. I can still add things so you come up with another idea you want on there. The last couple of things I am going to mention on the podcast today is, of course, sharing all of the travel plans with the person who's coordinating it. Some of you may not be flying in at the same time. Some may have different rooms. Some of you may only be able to attend 2 nights, not 3. So that is all the information that you want to send to your coordinator. And if you are the coordinator, try to put all of this information on a sheet for each and every person. The name and address of the location that you're staying, the rental number if you have one. Of course, when you're booking the Airbnb, be sure to include all of the guests. They have a little form on there for you. That way they know exactly who should be in the rental. It's really, really handy. And of course, the daily itinerary on there and the contact information. That is a form that you can share with everyone's spouse, mom, kids, whoever wants to know where they're at and how to get a hold of everybody. And then everyone actually has all that information themselves. They can keep it on their phone, or I always like to print it out. I'm kind of a nut on that, but it's just so handy. And I hope you enjoy that. Then last but not least, I like to draw up a list of rules for the trip. It sounds really crazy, but we just are all spending so much time and so much money organizing this trip. To me, Trips are almost holy. If you ruin my trip, you are not going to be my favorite person. Now, I know that accidents happen. You have to go home early. I'm not talking about that. But if you intentionally ruin a trip for a group, that's just a sin. It's an absolute sin. Some of the rules that we all came up with was no backing out or you forfeit your room. There's no way you can plan on splitting everything 4 ways or 8 ways and then have someone back out at the last minute. And suddenly those people were 8 people, now there's 7 people, and they have to figure out a way to pay for it. So what we came up with all of the times that we traveled is you can give your room away if the group approves that person, but you can't back out. Otherwise, this group trip absolutely won't work out. Now, if your group of friends are like, Sally's mom died, she can't go, is everyone okay with covering her share of the room? And a lot of times, it's such a small portion when you break it up between everyone agrees to it. So it works out. But Sally wasn't expecting it, but Sally gets it back. So it's a win-win situation, something that I think is really a good idea. You want to, of course, help your friends out as much as you possibly can. I love my girlfriends. The next rule is asking them to bring their best attitude. You want everyone to put on their big girl panties, not have a little tissy fit if they couldn't get their Starbucks at the airport because we didn't get there on time, or their room isn't quite as nice as their neighbor's room. Everyone usually will have an idea of exactly where they're staying, so there isn't any surprises. But we're asking everyone, please bring your best attitude. We want we want to bring joy to each and every member on the group trip and to everyone we meet. That means wait staff, hotel people, the people putting on the shows and the tours especially. So bring tips for those tour guides. Just bring your most joyous self to everyone. It makes for such a beautiful trip. And when you're expecting good things to happen, good things do happen. Asking everyone, of course, to go with the flow. Sometimes things just don't happen. You don't get out of the house fast enough. You don't get to the airport on time. The car runs out of gas. Who knows? No Ubers. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, we were in San Francisco really before Uber started, and we could not get a taxi back from the wharf back to our hotel. It took us everything. We had to walk. But it ended up being a gorgeous night because the Golden Gate Bridge had a special light show on it, and we saw the whole thing. We would have never seen that had we not had to take that walk. It was really it was a beautiful travel memory. I love suggesting to the group that they agree to the 4 agreements. Have you read that book by Don Miguel Ruiz? Sherry Rosenthal put on his retreats for years and years, and she was talking about it in our launch episode. And it's really 4 good practices that we can all do when we are traveling. The first is be impeccable with your word. It means that if you have said that you would do something, that you absolutely will do that. And it's being impeccable with your words. It's not saying things that are hateful or mean to others. Pick impeccable words. Don't take anything personally. 2 or 3 of the girls ran off into another store and seemed to be having so much fun without you, and you were left out on the sidewalk eating your ice cream. Don't take it personally. Really, most of the time, it rarely involves you. And fourth, always do your best. Do your best to accommodate everyone. Do your best to be a part of the group, to bring a smile, to bring joy. those rules and those agreements are almost guaranteed to make sure that you all have a good time. And if it is something you have discussed before you go, everyone is aware and everyone usually snaps back into it if they haven't, if they've fallen. So those are my suggestions, friends, for not having a girls' trip from hell. I hope it's giving you some really good ideas and that you grab that freebie if you have a chance. I want to thank you all for joining me here today and hope that the rest of your day is perfect. I hope that you got something done if you've been doing your laundry or walking. I am crazy over double duty. It is one of my favorite things. I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I am doing something mundane. I know you've heard me talk about that before. And if I talked your ear off today while you were doing something productive, yay, I consider that a win for me and for you. And to those of you who have followed the show on Spotify, thank you so much. That really helps us get out there. It really means a lot. Same with the likes on YouTube. If you want to share the show with someone you think would enjoy that, thank you so much. We appreciate that as well. And as I mentioned, links are in the description to everything we talked about today, as well as our links to the socials where you can keep the conversation going. It has been really good having you here today. Friends, keep exploring, keep retreating, and we will see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye. Are you dreading this winter coming up? We have an 18-day getaway to Southeast Asia. I'll link that in the description below, but it's easy to find on the bucketlistretreats.com website. We're starting in Vietnam, traveling all through the country, through Cambodia, and end up in Bangkok, Thailand. You can't believe everything that is included in this trip. Let me know if you have any questions. I can't wait to go because last winter was so long and I really need a breakup of the winter this year. Plus, Anthony Bourdain said it was the best food in the world. So literally, I am planning on eating my way through those 3 countries. Join me.